Welcome to Susie's Enchanted Crossroads, a podcast that helps you navigate your journey through the crossroads. I'm Susie, and together we will be taking a deeper look into witchcraft and spirituality. So settle in, and let's get this episode going. May the 4th be with all of you. Yes, it is Star Wars Day as I am recording this. And am I a big Star Wars fan? Hell yeah. Am I a bigger fan than my husband? Absolutely not. If it weren't for him, I'd be totally lost in between watching all of the movies and the cartoons and all of the other little TV shows. We just caught up with Andor, but I love it. I freaking love Star Wars, and it always breaks my heart whenever I see Anakin. I'm just like, oh, my heart breaks for Anakin. I don't know. Let me know. Are you a Star Wars nerd? Tell me. I know y'all are out there. I've been posting like crazy on my social media. So go like my stories. I know you'll get a kick out of some of them. Some of them are so freaking funny. And I stop and think to myself, how do people come up with this? This is freaking gold. Some of them had me laughing. Some of the things were like, oh shit, that's out of pocket, man. It's just so good. But how are you all doing? This past week has been a little bit uh, it's the end of the school year. It's finally coming down, winding to an end, and you would think it'd get easier as we're closing out the school year. It's just more chaotic, hands down. And I got so much going on, as I'm sure we all do, right? We all have all these things coming up. We are now in May, obviously, May the 4th. And I'm just like, man, we have, at least for myself, it's we just celebrated my mom's birthday. We have Mother's Day. Teacher Appreciation Week. Please don't forget your teachers. Don't forget the educators out there. I mean, any kind of little thank you goes a long way. Trust me. We're struggling out here. Um, so teacher appreciation, Memorial Day weekend, um, other little birthdays sprinkled, graduation parties, field trips for the end of the year. For some of my teacher friends, you still got UIL, pre-UIL. For myself, we just had a recital, thank goodness. And then on top of that, all of our teacher classroom things that we got to do, right? We got to test the kids, get the final report card grades out, make sure they're, hopefully they're passing. And we just ended state exams. It's wild. So May is already jam-packed. And if you're already feeling the overwhelm, make sure that you click the links in my show notes because I got you. Also, if you're in my part of my free newsletter, I send y'all a every week I send y'all something, but I've been sprinkling little extras here and there because I have specials going on that my newsletter coven gets wind of it first, and I'm offering Reiki, especially to the mamas out there. Breakfast in bed is awesome, but you know what? So is an hour of someone else untangling that energetic, chaotic knot within you. So even if you're a mama of fur babies, you're still a nurturer, you're still taking care of things. So even if it's just a gift for yourself, click all the links. I got you. And it's just a good way to release any negative and stagnant energy because we're coming to the first Wednesday where I offer community Reiki. This is the time, trust me, you're gonna want this. You need this in your life. But where am I going with this? So, as part of everything else, my husband caught a cold, right? And it was from, you just pick everything up anything, especially here, the wind has been really bad. So it could have been a cold, it could be severe allergies, but I'm feeling the tickle in my throat, feeling the tightness and slight cough here and there. And when I did the first episode of season two, and when we fall out of felt like I was breaking it down. When we fall off, quote unquote, right, doing all of our rituals, routines, especially when we get busy, right? And we fall off our spiritual practice, our witchy practices. It can feel exhausting to add one more thing, right? It's like, oh, I had to go to ballet recital, and then tomorrow I got to go to a swim meet, and I have, a budgeting meeting tomorrow as well. And at the end of the week, I have to make snacks for the field trip. The last thing we want to think about is making moon water, right? Or to pull a card daily. So, what I'm talking to you today about is little routines and rituals we can do that doesn't feel overwhelming. That doesn't feel like this is another thing we have to add on to our plate, right? Because creating our own daily witchy ritual without the overwhelm is what we should be shooting for. These are things that we can do, that we just do and not even realize that we do it. And I have a fun story to share with you after. Make sure that your practice isn't trying to emulate anybody else's practice. And it's so easy to get lost in what everybody else is doing. It is so easy to feel like you're behind. It's so easy to just look at someone else's newsletters, Instagram posts, TikTok videos, Pinterest uploads, YouTube readings, and come back into our own practice and be like, oh my gosh, I don't do any of that. Or I don't even have time to write one email, let alone a weekly newsletter. I can barely even pull cards for myself. I don't even make my ritual oils or candles anymore. And then we start to judge ourselves, right? And I don't want to do a repeat of, falling off the witchy practice. This is more about giving yourself that love and that grace because it happens to the best of us. Now, I had said that, I had a family thing and, everyone's good, but it just threw me off my routine. And so the questions I was getting sent were just like, yeah, I'm off my routine and yeah, I could implement things while I'm brushing my teeth, but then when I'm exhausted and tired, it just doesn't happen naturally. And yes, I could, stir the sigils into my coffee, but if I snooze my alarm four times and I'm running out the door, how can I find a moment for that? And those are all valid questions, right? Or statements that y'all were telling me. And I'm in the same boat. And what I did for myself was I created a bingo card. And I love my bingo card. And if you're part of the newsletter, I sent you one too. It's blank and you can fill it. But what I put on my bingo card wasn't, it was more for things that I know it's going to take me at least the whole year to complete, at least, right? Some boxes. Because I would love to black out the card. But I did that intentionally because as I'm learning more about myself, I am competitive and I love, okay. So for myself, I got the Kindle, right? It was gifted to me for my birthday. And for the longest time, I was like, I'm not going to like a Kindle. I don't want a Kindle. I want to hold the book in my hand. I want to feel the pages and smell the pages. That's just me, right? And I know it's not just me. I know some of y'all are out there just like, oh, yes, the smell of a book just, oh, so good. So I didn't think I was going to enjoy this Kindle. However, it is easier to carry that and have a book ready to go in my backpack that doesn't weigh an extra whatever amount, right? And that I can read it in bed or in a dark space without having to get my clip on my nightlight and put it around, whatever. And those are inconveniences, but it's just, it's nice and easy to have. So, here, a bad habit that I did have was I work through my lunch. And as a teacher who teaches dance, which is a fine art in Texas, no less, and teachers are losing their jobs, and our governor and they're in his out of his mind thinking, telling us that, oh, we just gave Texas public schools just too much money and now we're taking it back. Like, I'm sorry, what? Money from where? No. And so, long story short, I alongside my colleagues lost a planning period. So now we're down one planning period and a 30-minute lunch. Okay. So what I started doing was work through my lunch, work through my planning period. I mean, that is what a planning period is for, unless you need to contact a parent and do those kinds of things. But it's a very bad habit to pick up, and it's hard to break that, right? Because you need to be caught up. But when else am I going to do it? I don't want to take it home. Hell no, right? However, teachers, they do take a lot of things home. It's not a 9 to 5 job as much as we would love it to be. So, a routine or a little witchy ritual I started implementing, and it started off very, very slowly, is I would start when I had my lunch, I would start my meditated breathing while my food was warming up in the microwave. I put my phone down, right? Or put my phone in my pocket. I felt my feet on the floor, rolled my shoulders back, relaxed my jaw. And I mean, sometimes I can close my eyes, sometimes I can't. And I'm just work concentrating on my breathing, right? Deep breath in, exhale out. I still have the afternoon to go. I got this. Deep breath in, exhale out. I have a lot of things to do, but one thing at a time. Deep breath in, exhale out. Yeah, that meeting could have been an email, but what else could we do? And then my food's done. And I've regulated my nervous system. And now I get to eat and I'm going to be happy. Now, even if there's people in the workspace, waiting for the microwave, it's very easy for, to get lost in that chit chat, that water cooler talk. But you can still do these deep breaths. Yeah. You can still semi listen to your friend or your coworker while kind of concentrating on the bottoms of your feet. And when the food is done, all right, gotta go. Maybe you go to your car to eat. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes that's the only place where I can get some peace. Or back to your office. It is what it is. Or maybe you can eat outside. I know the weather's different year round, right? But what I also started doing, so I was like, all right, I got this one thing. I got it. And going back to my Kindle, now I'm going to read while I eat. And even if it's just 5 pages, I read. And I continued on that streak that I have, right? And it's like, you've been reading for 7 straight days. And I was like, fuck yeah, queen, get it. 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, 18 days. Fuck yes. Because those are little wins. I'm able to breathe. I'm enjoying my lunch. I'm not focusing on my food per se, but I'm not doom scrolling and I'm reading my book. Things that bring me joy. Yeah, I'm in the classroom, or you know what? Yes, I'm in the work room or wherever it is, the lunchroom. But once you have, things set up, And you just kind of nestle yourself maybe even in the corner. Hopefully, I mean, some people don't know how to read a room, but hopefully people will just say hi and hey, what you doing? I'm catching up on some reading while I'm enjoying my lunch. Oh, okay. Cool. And leave it at that without having the need to say anything else. Okay? Not, oh, did you want to sit here? Did you want to talk? Are you doing, how's your day? Nah, zip it. You zip it up. That time is for you. And I've continued on that streak. And I was able to cross off a box off my bingo card because I'm in competition with myself. Lovingly, right? Those are like those gentle pushes, like you wanted to read more, this is how you're going to do it. You want to have 2 minutes of breath, this is where you do it. The microwave is easy, man. The timer's right there. Especially in the morning when you're just like, yeah, I wish I could meditate really quick 2 minutes, but I spent those extra 2 minutes in bed. Totally get it. This is where you need to create your own daily witchy ritual based off your life that you are living. No one else is living this life but you. I'm here to give you ideas. Hopefully, this resonates with someone else. Like, well, yeah, when I fucking microwaving my shit, hell yeah, you know? Um, or maybe okay, so if you are a snoozy, right? You love to snooze that alarm. Whenever you're snoozing, because you know you can do the different time, like 5 minute snooze, a 2 minute snooze, a 10 minute snooze. If you know you're just a chronic snoozer, what you need to start doing for yourself is alarm goes off. Let's say it's Monday morning. Alarm goes off. Okay, I'm gonna push snooze because I'm dead exhausted from the weekend, from all the parties, the kids' parties, and all the things I had to do to prep, laundry, clean the house, etc. That I'm just gonna take, instead of just rolling over and crashing out, I'm going to take 10 deep breaths. And you're probably gonna crash back out. You are. But you took those 10 deep breaths. And then alarm comes on again. All right, you're gonna push snooze, but this time you're gonna sit up, dangle your feet off the bed, place your hands on your thighs, on your legs, drop the shoulders, drop the head, and take another 10 breaths. Maybe you'll snooze, maybe you'll fall asleep, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll start moving your body side to side, getting some movements down. Maybe you'll throw the arms up in the air. The alarm goes off again. All right, you're snoozing, but now maybe you stand up. You stand up and you're taking those deep breaths. Maybe you lift up your right arm and side bend, and then picked up the left arm and side bend, and maybe you gently just try to touch your toes or just drop and allow your shoulders to drop and your head to hang, and maybe you sway there back and forth and you take another 10 deep breaths. And you already know this next alarm, you got to move, you got to go. So now you go to the restroom. And as you do your thing in the restroom, maybe you're still taking those deep breaths, and now you're imagining all the negative, stagnant energy just as coming out of your body as you're doing what you got to do in the morning, right? Because you're flushing it away anyway. Those are the little things you can start implementing for yourself. And if you can meditate those 2 minutes as you brush your teeth, if you have the capacity, do some glamour magic with your lotion or your foundation or your liner. If you can, as you're going through the day, getting the kids ready for school, getting, your lunch ready, whatever it is, hopefully you can send some energy and, put some sigils into your coffee or your tea in the morning. The thing is maybe starting with an intention, and maybe you write it on a sticky note and you Pin it on your mirror. Today I welcome clarity. And maybe all week it's just clarity. Today I welcome in clarity, clarity, clarity. Or today I welcome in joy. Or today I'm going to be a freaking badass, like I'm a badass every day. Today I'm going to, just that is my intention, whatever that means. And then you start going in through your whole day and you can reflect on it. It's those little things that are going to start making your witchy practice easier because now it's just part of the daily. Now, as you build these daily habits, please don't do all of these things and expect to do them all, right? Because we don't want the brain to freak out and think, oh my God, you're doing all these changes. This is danger, danger, danger. We can't do this, right? Because that's our cute little minds are like that. Our squiggly brains are like that. It's not used to doing these new things. So, baby step at a time. Maybe the morning is not for you and you're more of a night owl. Cool. What is your ritual and your routine as you go to bed, as you get ready for bed? Something easy that I've been starting to do just for myself is I bought some nail oil, like cuticle oil. This is dry as fuck here in the desert. Obviously, right? We're in the desert. And I was like, when I bought it, I'm going to be so good. I'm going to put this oil on in the morning. I'm going to do it at work and then at nighttime. Ask me how long I kept that up for. That's all right. Ask me. Maybe a week. And why? Because my nervous system was already overloaded, y'all. I was like, what was I thinking? Yeah, some mornings I don't have to wake up butt ass early, and some days I do. And at work, I already tried to do like meditation. I'm gonna read and I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna and on top of that, I'm gonna put nail oil on. Give me a freaking break. At night, sometimes I'm so damn exhausted. I just want to shower and plop into bed. So I was like, all right, Susie, this is what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna start overwhelming ourselves. So the nail oil just stayed by my bedside. I saw it every night and I didn't let myself get upset over it. Like another night, you're not going to put your nail oil on? No, because you know what I did today? I meditated for the amount of minutes, or I took deep breaths while my food was warming up at lunch today. And I read 3 pages. Boom, bitch. You're a badass. Fuck yeah. So now, last Sunday, exactly 1 week today as I'm recording, then I started implementing my nail oil only, only as I was getting ready for bed. Because when you put the nail oil on, then sometimes the pads of your fingers get a little oily, right? Because I like to really massage it, get in there. Um, so I would get ready for bed. I would sit at the edge of my bed. And I'm like, all right, my alarm is set. No more phone. No more phone. No Kindle. We're not reading at bed right now because I read at lunch and I feel good about that. Nail oil time. And that was kind of my cue to like, all right, nail oil is on, bonnet is on. It's time for mimis. It's time for sleep. And now my body's like, all right, good. I get it. This is a nice thing. This is what nice that we do for ourselves as it lowers, the stress. We're breathing as we're brushing this oil with the intention, we're not going to be dry as fuck. We're not going to be all reptilian, in our nails, and we're trying to keep our nails nice and strong and healthy. And it's our cue to like start getting ready for sleep. That's what's working for me because I get it. We want to do all these things because trust me, I did that. I'm gonna pull a card today. I'm gonna pull a card today. But that means I have to wake up a little bit earlier so that way I can center myself, ground myself, talk to my guides, pull a card. Ooh, okay, so this is the energy for the day. Cool. but it wasn't gonna last me because I am not a morning person. And then I thought, you know what? I'll just pull cards as I get ready for bed. And I had the tarot cards by my bed and I was ready for it. But then I'm like, ooh, now I'm awake because I was like, oh, this is so exciting. And now I have all these ideas. So, and then I was like, oh, this might not work. I would have to do this maybe an hour before I go to bed. So it's gonna have ebbs and flows because you are a human being, not a human doing. You are not a machine. You need to pick things that are going to make you feel good in that moment. And know that your days are going to fluctuate and give yourself grace. Give yourself, be like, man, last night I was dog tired and I had a migraine. I was so nauseous that I didn't even want to slap that oil on. And maybe you just went straight to bed. But in the morning, you're like, oh, I feel a little bit better. Maybe then you put the nail oil on. No biggie. And maybe wait till that evening. It's understanding and noticing when you fall off, quote unquote, right? When you fall off and when you pick back up. So for myself, it's like, man, I know that this is always a chronically busy time. I'm going to move things around in ways that are going to serve me. I'm going to move things around that's going to best serve my clients and my mini business and, my I can't even say 9 to 5, but my day job. Um, and really just know that this is my fucking practice and who's gonna tell me what I'm not doing? And my ear is ringing. Yeah. This is your practice. Don't feel like it has to look like everybody else's. And I know it's hard. It really is. It's difficult when you're seeing everybody else as they're progressing on their journey. You're just like, ugh, I was here and now I feel like I'm going backward. But you're not going backward. You're not. You're evolving. You're really noticing how things come and go in your own life. And that is a beautiful thing. Something that worked for you last month may not work for you next month. Something you used to do all the freaking time for years and years and years and years and years, and then you stopped without question, right? Or for you do have a reason, and now you're thinking about like, why did I ever stop doing that? That thing that I loved so much brought me joy, brought me clarity. What happened between that and now? And this is where it's going to take where you have to maybe meditate, connect with your spirit team, pull a few cards, do some divination, reach out to someone, hint, hint, wink, wink, to pull some cards or do some Reiki and get down to like, why don't I do that anymore? What changed? What changed within me? What changed around me? What was my situation? Like, what's happening? Because sometimes it's life, but sometimes it might be your circle. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you go on your journey, you start with people and some people are not ready to keep going or evolve as you are. Some people are little energy vampire suckers and you just don't have the energy to do that thing that you love so much because people are literally sucking the energy from you. So you don't have no you ya no tiene la ganas. You don't have, the drive to do that anymore because you're so exhausted. Either people or the situation that you're in, right? Work, whatever. So it's sometimes it's time it's looking at your shadow self like, is it me? It's like, is it me? Am I the drama? And sometimes it's the people around you that are keeping you where you like keeping you from growing. And then it's exhausting when you can't do that thing anymore. So I want you to create your own signature mini witchy ritual. Okay. And like I said, it doesn't have to, nothing crazy. And I want to keep you on your ritual. Maybe I should start something on on my Instagram or wherever. People keep telling me maybe start a Patreon. I don't know. This is another thing I got to put on my plate. But I want to keep you on your ritual. Okay? So maybe as you wake up in the morning and you know it takes you at least 45 minutes to get ready from start to finish, maybe you have a candle. Maybe you have a candle right there, safe. Um, and only if you don't have like a super squiggly brain, you're gonna like forget, right? Maybe you light your candle, or better yet, maybe one of those really small incense that, burn out within some are quick burning, like 30 minutes, some less. But maybe you light that incense every morning that you wake up. Maybe it's just saying that daily affirmation. I bring in clarity, or clarity finds me, or whatever calls to you, right? Um, Maybe you give yourself like a little treat every time you do your ritual. So maybe you're really bad at drinking water, right? And let's say you finally see your water and you take like, I don't know, three big sips, three big gulps, and you give yourself a little treat like, I don't know, what would be a good treat for drinking three sips of water? Um, Three sips of water, three TikTok videos. And that's it. If you want to see more TikTok videos, guess what? You got to take some more sips of water. Hey, shit, maybe I should do that. maybe maybe I should do that for myself. Maybe that download was for me. Or maybe it's for the evening time, right? Maybe you've been wanting to write more, but writing, you leave your journal next to your bed. It's not going to quite do it for you, right? So, what could you do in order to do that thing? Maybe you'd start by leaving yourself voice memos, and then we can start going into the journaling. Maybe it's just, all right, literally 5 minutes. That's it. I'm going to give myself time to journal. 5 minutes. That is it. Set your alarm and you're just journaling and nothing specific. It's just maybe a brain dump. Today was this. I saw a fluffy cloud in the sky and I was like, oh, that's nice. The clouds are coming in and maybe it'll rain. And oh man, I really love it when it rains. And then it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Perhaps it's just whispering gratitude or a wish or just talking to your spirit team or your highest self into your pillow before you fall asleep or for some restful sleep. Whatever it is, raking your food, sigils in your lotion, cleansing yourself in the shower, something that is uniquely geared to you that is attainable to you. And it doesn't have to be daily. I guess I should have prefaced that too. This witchy ritual does not have to be a daily ritual unless you want it to be. Maybe this is something that this micro ritual is something you do every full moon because you know that one, you look up at the sky, it's like, oh shit, it's the full moon. Awesome. And all it is looking up at the full moon and giving yourself 2 minutes to be thinking about the full moon. You know what I mean? It's just those little things that are going to help you reconnect to your practice and really a reconnection to yourself. So I hope this episode, obviously those that have been sending me, your statements of, that's nice, but I can't do this, or questions on other examples that I could give. I hope this answers, your questions. I didn't want to have to do a repeat, but I felt like, you know what, I really resonated with what y'all were saying. And especially in this month of May, I know that I'm extremely busy. How am I going to find pockets of time for my own little mini micro witchy rituals, right? And I know that I've been starting something a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, and then all of a sudden it's just part of what I do. And it feels good. And that's what's important, that it feels good doing it and it doesn't feel like a chore. And remember, take what resonates and leave the rest. Your path is uniquely yours. All right, gorgeous souls, that's it for me today. And until next time, I will see you at the crossroads. Thank you for listening to this episode of Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. I'd love to hear what resonated with you, so don't be shy. Tap the links in the show notes to send a message or share your thoughts. Make sure you leave a review because your voice helps this community grow and guides others to find this podcast and their magic. Want even more enchantment between episodes? Sign up for my weekly newsletter for rituals, energy tips, and exclusive updates. And don't forget to follow me on my socials on Instagram and TikTok for your daily doses of magic, silliness, and behind-the-scene moments. If you felt a little magic today, share this episode with a friend who might need it. And until next time, I will see you at the crossroads.